Hey guys, it's Cameron here with Emerson House Buyers, Emerson Property Management. Every week I bring you tools, tactics, strategies, lessons I've learned, things that have helped me build up a sizable portfolio in about 2 years. This week I want to go through a question I have, question we got that is probably something several people or several of you will have questions about. So this this subscriber is, let me look it up here. This subscriber is asking, her name is Jessica. Jessica, thanks for the question. It says, I'm a Houston realtor and I'm struggling to understand the process of investing in real estate with a license. What I would like to do is submit offers to active MLS listings, looking for a duplex, if not something bigger. Here are some questions I have. 1. When submitting an offer, where do I state I am a licensed agent? 2, once I purchase the first investment property, how do I go about buying another one with my credit? Or do I have to partner with someone else? Number 3, have you worked with Section 8? I've met a few people who would like to rent them out too. They are good rental candidates. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to state this. I've had numerous questions about buying houses or wholesaling as an agent. So if you're an agent, that means that if you're a licensed salesperson, that means you're underneath a broker, right? You have to hang your license with a broker. I would discuss whatever you're going to do with your broker. That would be first and foremost. Make sure they understand what you're trying to do so there's no confusion or issues when something happens. Or when you start doing deals, you want to make sure you're transparent with the broker. You don't want to get into a situation where they think you're doing one thing and you're doing another. So speak with the broker, make sure they're okay with you wholesaling. So when submitting offer, where do I state I'm a licensed agent? So for majority of my houses, I wasn't an agent. So you don't have to. If you are a licensed agent and you're acting as an agent and you want to act as an agent, then you can state it on the last page of the contract. There's information on there regarding the broker information and your license number and all that. So that'll be on the last page. If you guys haven't seen it, you can check out the video up here on the TREC contract and how to fill that out, and that might have some more, or answer some more of your questions on that. Number 2, once I purchase the first investment property, how do I go about buying another one with my credit, or do I have to partner with someone? So I've got a couple videos. You'll watch them up here regarding low and no money down financing. Bigger Pockets has a lot of great resources for that. But I'm assuming if you're asking this about with your credit that you maybe have bad credit. I'm not sure, Jessica. But if you have bad credit and you go to hard money and you do a refi, a lot of people don't care about your credit if the property is a good investment. So if there's a lot of equity in the property, you have a lot of potential in the property, sometimes bad credit, and I don't know if we're talking 400s or 500s here, that might be inhibiting to getting a final loan. But definitely want to partner with somebody or look at some of the other strategies out there. I mean, there's loan assumptions, subject twos, there are seller financing deals where the actual seller can finance you the property. Again, I've got some of these other videos up here that I mentioned that we'll share that. Or like I said, Bigger Pockets is a great resource. Brandon Turner's got a book, Buying Properties with No and Low Money Down, that really impressed me a lot. It's a pretty easy read. Him and his wife wrote it, and it's straightforward, a lot of examples, very easy to understand if that's something that you're really looking for here. And yeah, if you want to buy another one, partnerships are always a good way to go. Just make sure who you're partnering with, you guys have all that ironed out. Do everything through an attorney. Don't do it on a handshake. Even if you're doing it with family, that's a little tip for you. Even if you're doing it with family, please take some time and write out just even a page contract. Make sure it's clear on who gets what happens if so-and-so wants out of the deal, blah, blah, blah. Make sure all that's written down. And the last one, have you worked with Section 8 before? Me personally have not placed a Section 8 tenant. I have never placed a Section 8 tenant. However, I've bought properties that were Section 8 tenants. The reason they were selling them is because the Section 8 tenants had not taken very good care of the properties. Now, I can't say this exclusively for all the Section 8 tenants, but the feeling that I got from the person I was buying these from is that they felt entitled. So I bought a property where the Section 8 tenant was paying between $50 and $100 a month. That was the tenant's portion. The government's portion was $800, $900, $1,000, whatever it was, but the tenant was paying virtually nothing. So there was not much ownership in what was going on. Like I said, there were some entitlements. Now, I've seen what happens sometimes. That's what happened in this case where we bought these two properties is the tenant started out with just paying $50 a month or like $60 or something crazy. And then next year it went to $80. Then the year after that, $120. The year after that, $200. So you got to be careful on getting into those situations. Then you got somebody who can't pay the rent, even though it's $200, they can't pay that, and they're moving out, and you got to get somebody else. The good thing about Section 8, one of the very nice things is they do inspect those every year or 2 years. I think it's 2. They've moved to 2 years at least locally. So you basically get a free inspection. Unfortunately, some of those inspections are pretty difficult to pass. Sometimes they're very particular, sometimes they're not. Like I said, I haven't dealt with a lot of Section 8, but my understanding from this lady that we bought them from, she was getting tired of dealing with the inspectors too because they were making her go through a lot of changes to satisfy certain rules. And it wasn't, some of this stuff wasn't like city code. This was going above and beyond. So, you know, pros and cons to each thing. I'm sure there are plenty of people who do very well with Section 8, but I've just not found the need for it. We have all our properties rented in Houston and in Ohio, and we don't have any problems with finding tenants. So if that came up and we needed to do that, we could always look at that as an option, but it's just not something we would consider at the time. So Jessica, I appreciate the question. Thank you so much. I hope that answered all your questions. I hope that answered all your questions. If it did, let me know. If it didn't, let me know. And if you have some follow-up, we can always go through and answer those for you. So thanks, guys. See you next week.